Now, Episode 2 was such a downside for this whole Star Wars prequel trilogy. See, what happened in Episode 2, it really just went off what happened in Episode 1, and Episode 1 was horrible. Episode 2 is worse, in my opinion. I used to love Episode 2 so much, because Episode 2 had clothes and droids, and they fought. That is only the last 15 minutes of the movie. Now, the rest of Episode 2 is lovey-dovey exposition. That's all it is. It's an expositional movie. It sets up for Revenge of the Sith. And that's the only thing it does. So upsides to this are the clone and droid battles, which is awesome. The Jedi battle in the arena was awesome. The battle against the monsters with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme. That was pretty cool. But those are the only three parts I really remember and like about it. And that's the only memorable parts, too. There was nothing else that really caught my eye. The Camino one really wasn't that interesting. There was no space battles, which was a staple of the Star Wars trilogy. In the original, there was always some sort of space battle, kind of. Actually, there always was a space battle in every movie. There was no space battle in this movie at all. The only thing that came close was Jango chasing down Obi-Wan. Well, maybe I think it was the other way around. Obi-Wan chasing Jango. That was the only thing close, and it was not even cool. So, Episode 2 downsides. Love story. Forced love story. It was terrible. One of the worst love stories I've ever seen, because Hayden Christensen can't act for his life. Natalie Portman, she is creeped out by Hayden Christensen and is not acting. And then there was the whole plot. The rest, everything else that was with it was terrible. This was almost unredeemable. It was bad. Really bad. It only got good towards the last part because it was ending and it set up for Revenge of the Sith. So now let's transition into Revenge of the Sith, because Revenge of the Sith is by far one of the most underrated movies in the whole prequel trilogy. People say, oh, well, it's a prequel, so it's bound to be terrible. No, Revenge of the Sith is just as good as the original movies, in my opinion. It's in my top 3. It's above A New Hope, because A New Hope, it really was not that cool to me, I think. I didn't really like it as much as I like Revenge of the Sith. So Revenge of the Sith is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Mainly because there are several reasons. One, the space battles were spectacular. They start off in an amazing space battle. I love it so much. And then the second thing was the Jedi, the whole Jedi getting hunted down plot. Oh, that was so good. No, I really haven't touched on music yet, because really the music has almost been the same throughout every episode. But in Episode 3, the music was spectacular. It sounded so good. I would buy those to put them on my phone to listen to because they were that good. The lightsaber duels, they were excellent. Obi-Wan versus Anakin, it was great. So one of the things Obi-Wan and Anakin did was they would just take the lightsaber and just fight on these rocks on different platforms and everything. It was a spectacular experience just watching it, I think. Now also, another thing that I love about the movie is just how the plot just keeps thickening, and just figuring out and see how Anakin just keeps turning evil and getting worse and worse and worse. And Palpatine, then finding out Palpatine's evil, and then 4 of the best Jedi, Windu, Kit Fisto, CC-10, and then some other hornhead guy. It looked like a brown Darth Maul. They all went in there, and then he slaughtered the other 3 really fast, and Mace is the only one left standing, because he's Sam freaking Jackson, and Sam Jackson doesn't take anything. So, Palpatine's a boss in this, because he's not weak and brittle. He can actually fight with a lightsaber, and that's what makes it awesome. Now, there are some downsides, but one of the last things I want to talk about right now is General Grievous. He was a fantastic villain. 4 arms, 4 Jedi killed lightsabers. Go away! You said you don't want to be in this until later.
Yes!
Go away.
You were talking about Grievous.
Now, the way they introduced him was after the Clone Wars was over. It was the Clone Wars animated show, and they introduced him on there. And he came on, and he just slaughtered the Jedi that fought him. There was about half a dozen Jedi, and then their master, so 7 Jedi, and they fought Grievous, and Grievous just took them out completely. It was awesome. And they were surrounded by droids, so they can't go anywhere. They couldn't go anywhere. They were fighting in this crashed Republic ship, and Grievous just tore them apart. There was only a couple left standing, and that was about it. Which I thought it was a. Speaking of which, I talked about the Clone Wars animated series a lot recently, and they did a fantastic job with that. And the new Clone Wars series was just as good, I think, because it stayed on longer. It had more episodes and more depth, which I. Since Hayden Christensen can't really act, it's almost a swear word to say his name. And honestly, he's one of the only bad parts about Episode 3. I really can't think of anything else that's really bad. They introduced so many new worlds and the whole story of the movie, and it's great. And also the other thing that got me was also Natalie Portman in the end. She lost the will to live. They could have made a better way for her to die. I mean, they could have just had him kill her, and it make him keep him on the path of villainy, like a tragic. He'd stay a tragic villain, but it'd still be interesting. But they could have done something better to make her die, except for him lose the will to live. But also for a plus in this movie, Yoda decapitates 2 clones. Yeah, it's pretty. Oh, by the way, best part of the entire movie. Well, there's actually quite a few parts that are really good, but Order 66 is by far one of the best parts of the entire movie, where the clones are ordered to go and turn on the Jedi and kill and slaughter them. It goes planet to planet watching the clones fight droids. While they're in the middle of fighting droids, they turn on their Jedi and kill them. And it's amazing. See how it's done. Like you go, I believe the first place they cut to is Megiddo, and then the second place they cut to is Felucia with Aayla Secura. Then there's a lot of other places, but it's really they kill all the Jedi that they could find and that were with, and then the Jedi Temple gets invaded by clones. And they slaughter younglings. I'm like, that's pretty dark especially for this movie, because this is a really coming off these 2 really silly movies that are really bad. Then you have slaughtering children and just massive killing, genocide of an entire, almost like it's kind of like a religion. So it's massive genocide. It's really, really dark and depressing to figure out and listen and watch to see what's happening. Now, the way Anakin got turned into Darth Vader was also a very good way to do that, because they completely Obi-Wan cut off his arms and legs, and he's just laying there getting burnt on a rock, and it's great. And Palpatine finds him. Oh, it's a good movie. It's really underrated because it is a phenomenal movie. It's not really phenomenal. It's not as good as Episode 5 or 6, but it's my 3rd favorite by far. Now, it also introduces key characters like what's the guy? The guy who raised Leia. The guy he lived on Alderaan, and that establishes her home on Alderaan. Why she went to Alderaan. Bail Organa, that's his name. Then Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru shows Obi-Wan taking him there and saying he'll watch, and you understand why he has to watch after them because of the connection he had with Anakin. And really, you know why he's there now because he swore to protect Luke even if the Empire found him. Which that's awesome. I mean, think about it. Think how awesome that would have been if maybe like in an alternate universe, the Empire did follow them, and Obi-Wan had to go and finally fight to try to stop the Stormtroopers from getting Luke. And it would have been so cool to have him there. So overall, Episode 3 is not that as bad of a movie as people will say it is, because it's only because it's part of the prequel trilogy, and people are very nostalgic and they love the original series. So now let's go on to Episode 7 and what needs to happen in Episode 7. So Episode 7, we know there's going to be a lot of new characters apparently, and then a bunch of the old characters are, as we can guess, old because they actually are really old. Now, some of the stuff I want to see a cool space battle. Like I know there's probably not going to be any like room left for that because all the big ships are gone and like the Empire's destroyed. But I really wish there'd be a full-scale space battle because that'd be amazing to see. Because I want it the size of Episode 6 or Episode 3. So I want to do that kind of space battle. It was really good and really tremendous. Also, I want there to be a nice saber duel. Because that'd be really cool to watch and see. Now, things that shouldn't happen. They shouldn't bank on a love story like the original trilogy, like the prequel trilogy did. They were trying to bank on a love story for all of Episode 1 and 2. And they spent too much time in the movie setting it up, and they should have been focusing more on what's actually happening in the action sequences. Now, Star Wars is all about political quagmire and action. And sure, the political quagmire outweighed a lot in Episode 1 and 2. Episode 3, it was there a little bit, but it was in a nice dosage. It wasn't bad. Now, one of the other things that really shouldn't happen like this content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I have videos like coming up like this every day. Well, not every day. When I can. I'm a busy person. So, thank you for watching so much, and remember to subscribe for all this amazing new content coming out. I'm going to do more superhero stuff, more top 10s, top 5s, my opinion on things, hopefully some gameplay. So, also go subscribe to my friend BeetleFan64. He's a fantastic channel. Also, Goya Boya, that's one of my other close friends. He has some pretty good content. He's going to have good content coming out soon. So, go subscribe to them as well. And thanks for watching.